right around them months.
So that's the real New Year. You know, and we would celebrate and have a festival, a new moon festival, and that would be counted your first Sabbath / feast, and then you would have your regular 6-day week, and then the 7th day it was a Sabbath. You know,
you get your Passover situation set up, and that week.
Definition rivers of your fresh young barley, ears barley. The second one is month of ear forming, of greening of crop, of growing green, Abib, month of Exodus or Passover, March, right?
And one of the ways you can tell that they kept the Sabbath based on the new moon. When you read that account in Exodus, I believe it's the 16th chapter. The Lord gave them a 6-day period where they had to gather up all that manna because they were gonna have to they was going to have to gather it and prepare it because on the Sabbath day they wasn't going to be able to do something. They wasn't going to be able to work or anything.
They was able to start double.
So they was able to get double the amount, and
it wouldn't go rotten either.
Right, and then they prepared themselves right before the Sabbath day, and then on the Sabbath day they didn't travel, they didn't move, they didn't gather nothing.
Some people tried to.
Right.
Shit went bad. But because every day it would rot. That's why I tell you don't pick none up the next day because it would rot. But that's the one time when you gathered up, it wouldn't rot. So tell me how spiritual that is. The other thing I was gonna say was that y'all know the second name is 2 names for that month. Yeah, what y'all going into right now? Yeah, I'll see if they know. And see if it had it. You know, I know it waited a little time. Y'all might have gone away from it. But there's a second name to it as well. And that second name goes. Right. Does it say why? Y'all found why?
That's what I wrote.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. It's because y'all found it? Right, because now that's a Babylonian name for it now. As you know, like Daniel and the 3 holy children, they had other names, Babylonian names as well as their Hebrew names. Well, the month had a Hebrew. Abiyah, we was just reading into a bib or whatever, and then Nisan, which was a Babylonian name for the first month.
Just like you know the Assyrians, you know they basically you know wrote their own Hebrew script off the ancient Hebrew script. You know that's what them small hats go by now. They go by the Assyrian script, not the Paleo. You know?
Yeah, so that word Nisan means to flower or the flowering. Basically, significance of the new season of growth, of life.
Yep.
I'm showing you it's the same.
It's like the budding of the ear. We're thinking about crops. They're just thinking about the season change.
Yeah, because I was arguing with a nigga over there. He said the first month was a bib, man. Nissan.
Babylonian. That's Babylonian, right. They didn't start naming it that until they came up under the Babylonians.
Well, I got some information on that. It's from Abraham Publications. It said,
and while you're grabbing that, this is what you got to do to get the understanding of this. Because if somebody, if you're just trying to, because like now we're not worried about semantics as much as the edification that comes out of it. It's best to know both in case somebody references as Nisan or somebody references as Abib or Abiyab or whatever, right? So just so you are still locked in and you can get past the semantical part and get to the point of what we're really talking about.
Yeah, it said this is the Jews originally called the first month Abib, Abiyab, but adopted the Babylonian name Nisan during their exile.
Yep.
The first month is the only month whose Canaanite and Babylonian names are both mentioned in the Bible.
Right. But that just, you can't take that captivity of the Babylonians away from us. We went through that.
Said, the name Nisan occurs only twice in the Bible. In Nehemiah 2:1, we read how Nehemiah served wine to the king Artaxerxes. He was the cupbearer of Artaxerxes. And mentions his grief over the ruined city of Jerusalem.
When he also made a governor, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's that?
Nehemiah. Yep.
This sets in motion the return of the Jews from their exile and the restoration of the city and the temple of Jerusalem.
Yep. So it could be rebuilt going to the next, you know, under Darius and Cyrus. Yep. So all this is how you study to show yourself approved. We went into that, but showing you that, how you gonna argue us about what it is, and we done brought all this info out, but we hate y'all. No, we hate that that your doctrine ain't right. We hate that you for not making the corrections, man.
And we hate every false way.
There you
like
go.
David said.
There you go.
Now, you could interpret it as hate, but that really just goes to the amount of pride that these men have.
Yep.
Really is narcissistic to think that you can't be corrected, so that when somebody do correct you, you think they hate you. But meanwhile, you could turn around and say we great little kids,
Yeah. And never correct that.
and never correct that. So what does that say about you and the people around you, man? You know, the Lord gonna end up eventually visiting that group.
Yep.
We seen what the Lord just did with Alazar.
Yep.
The Lord, he ain't close to done. Because Jerusalem gonna continue to get searched with them candles, man.
This is only the
You would
beginning.
think that run-in they had with over there in Kenya would be like a wake-up call. The Most High, like, and they got mercy because he could have been out there, just happened to go. Let me go out here with you brothers, and he's up there at age, so he can't run and get away like the younger. So he could have tripped up, and they could have, you know, they
Could have got bad.
could have got his ass whooped.
The Lord did have mercy on them because them Africans, they got soft. You know, they used to be real rough. You know, they walk around with them AKs. They used to use them.
Yep.
Yeah.
They could have used them on them, but you know they threw other stuff instead.
Yeah.
I've seen a video years ago, and somebody got caught in adultery, man. A woman got caught. They gave her the Sodom and Gomorrah treatment.
Yeah.
As you know, I gotta say it in a clean way without sounding brutal, but they was cool with it. She tried to get up and like run it off, and they kicked her back down, and man, it was bad.
But you can't go there no more.
Now,
You can't go to Kenya no more.
you go back there, it ain't gonna
Oh,
be
they,
so
they
cool.
might get you next time.
Yeah, you got the warning.
And best believe they told the surrounding governments,
Oh,
you
yeah.
purple niggas.
Yeah.
These purple niggas, that's Somalia,
Purple
what's the
niggas.
other? Libya,
The Coptics in purple.
yeah, Egypt, you know,
These-
hey,
These Christian niggas.
killing niggas.
Yeah, man.
We don't want no black Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Hell, man.
Sudan,
Yeah, man. Yeah, the spirit is, you know, has been warning y'all for quite some time, man. You know, so either take the correction or don't. You know, but at the end of the day, the Most High is the judge. The Lord said the deceived and the deceivers are His. You know, evil men shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. All right, so we're gonna continue to speak the truth to our people, man. And with that, we're gonna give all honor, all praise, and glory to Yahweh.
Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakadash.
They want us to the elder apostles and bishops of the great millstone. Peace, blessings, and citation to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.